Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
An interesting piece of news came out today. Has Formula E legitimised itself as a competitor for Formula One? Since it started, it has been the playground of former F1 drivers and those who never made it. Now they have a young, up-and-coming talent and F1 hopeful in their driver ranks. Before we start, leave your thoughts down in the comments below, like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. Well, I can't really say this came out of the blue. De Vries is probably going to be a Formula 2 champion in a couple of months, and there are not going to be many Formula 1 seats up for grabs at the end of the season. But Formula E has been the place for disgraced former Formula 1 drivers to rehabilitate their reputation. Some quite successfully, the likes of Bruno Senna, Nelson Piquet Jr., Lucas de Grassi, Sebastian Buemi and Jean-Eric Vergne have all made names for themselves as decent racers after pretty disastrous times in various degrees in Formula 1. But De Vries was a McLaren Academy driver, and as champion of the Formula 2 series would surely be in line for a Formula 1 drive at some point, right? Well, not exactly. Norris and Sainz have signed on for next year, and the duo are both doing really well. So there's no guarantee that a race seat will appear in the near future. So Nyck De Vries has probably made the right choice. Signing for a powerhouse like Mercedes as they enter Formula E, if they can dominate here like in Formula 1, then De Vries has put himself in position to challenge from the off. And when a race seat does open up in Formula 1, he'll be the top of many teams' lists to have a drive. That's not an impossibility. The FIA have mentioned they'd like more teams on board going into 2021, with the regulation changes being the perfect jumping on point. As long as they get past the terrible 2010 teams that joined the grid, HRT, Caterham and Manor are all lessons to be learned, and the likes of Lucas de Grassi and Jerome D'Ambrosio can warn drivers like Nyck De Vries of the dangers of joining such teams. Mercedes have made a great choice in a young driver who I'm sure can perform from the start, and Stoffel Vandoorne is better than his McLaren performances made it seem, so they've ticked all the boxes there. But can they dominate in this series like they do at the top of the game? I don't really think so. Formula E has proved to be far more competitive than Formula 1, and Mercedes are going up against the likes of Audi, who have been there since the start with the same driver lineup, and the very game Lucas de Grassi leading the charge. Along with Dam's Nissan, who will look to have a much better year. Jaguar are forever improving. Porsche joined the race, and Lotterer is a big signing from Champions Techeetah, who still have Jean-Eric Vergne for next year. As well as BMW with Gunther joining their team, Virgin have kept their lineup, and Brendan Hartley has joined Dragon. You can put him in the rehabilitation category. On top of that incredibly competitive list, there's still 9 seats to fill for the November start. With all that competition, I think Mercedes are in for a fight. But I also want to mention another possibility. Lewis Hamilton has been in Formula 1 for 13 years, and is probably heading towards the end of his career. If Mercedes are still in Formula E when he retires, maybe he'll fancy a season in the all-electric series. What a boon that would be for the organisers of Formula E. One final thing, the car is styled similarly to their Formula 1 car. That is so dull, could they not have tried something more interesting? Anyway, good luck to Nyck De Vries and Mercedes. Subscribe, I'm releasing lots of videos and I'd love to see some comments. Have a bloody good one.